Hey everybody, and welcome to this week's episode of New Strength Sugar Babes. We've got a lovely sugar babe, Johanna she's from New South Wales actually. She's got one child. Like many of the women in our program, they have kids. She works part-time. How long have you been in the program now?
Since I think August last year.
Yeah, wow. So it's quite a
Yeah.
while. Yeah. And tell the viewers why you joined the program.
Yeah, I joined at a time where I was having a lot of hormonal issues
Mm,
with my cycle. And so I would be heavily bleeding throughout my whole cycle, or like heavy bleeding for a long time, and then
mm,
I'll be spotting the whole time. And
mm,
so it was, and then if I stopped, it would be like 50 something
mm,
days before I get my period back. And it was this continual thing all the time. And I was drained, and my energy was low. My iron levels were horribly low. It was like on 3, and the normal was 15 to 30 or something.
mm,
And yeah, I think I needed a difference. I was trying all these other like Chinese medicine and
mm,
all these other diets, and it was just not working for me. And I think your ad came up on
mm,
Facebook, and it spoke my language. I was like,
mm.
one, I hate doing diets. I love my food so much. I love my food so much. And so one, I was like, if there was something that I could do that was sustainable, then I want to give it a go. And so
Mm,
that's why I
mm.
hopped on in the beginning.
And what diets had you tried previously?
Well, I wouldn't say I didn't do like crash dieting. Like
Mm,
I was never that person because I love my food. um,
that's good.
but I would try like, yeah, just the whole more vegetables, not as much,
Cut
meat, like,
sugar.
yeah, cut
Yeah.
out sugar, 100% cut out sugar, 100% cut out, make sure you have the fibers and
Mm,
extra fibers in your diet and stuff like that. But
mm,
also it was just all this natural medicine stuff. So I wouldn't even know what goes into it. And that was the other thing that I loved about this. You
mm,
guys were teaching me what I needed to do well,
mm,
and what I needed to eat and put in my body to heal my body. But whereas Chinese medicine, they just crush up stuff.
mm.
And I don't know, like I did it for 2 years,
Wow.
Kitty, and it's
Wow.
so expensive. And
Yeah, wow.
they just crush up stuff and tell you to keep eating, and they go, you're nearly there, you're nearly there. And I'm like, where am I?
I'm not,
I'm
I'm not
not
getting
seeing
anywhere.
it. And I was putting on so much weight as well in that time,
Mhm.
so it was just ridiculous. I did your program for 3 months, and the whole thing was, incredible for me.
Well, you look really well.
Oh,
Your
thanks.
skin's really glowing. Like you look really healthy. I think that's one thing I noticed. Like women obviously join us they want to usually lose body fat or tone up. But then they also have, one or more of the metabolic issues. But after a lot of people will transform their body, but they just look healthy. Like you see other weight loss programs and they've lost this weight, but they just look like they're not glowing. Like their skin's not glowing. They just don't look that well.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so good. And so tell the viewers, like what's the results you've seen since joining the program?
So I love what you said about not linear, like change not being linear, because that's been the journey for me. So at
Mm,
the start, I was super passionate about it. So I got onto the buff program, and I was on it like near perfect for like 3 months,
mm,
and from that, so like I think I got 45 centimeters loss,
wow.
um, and I felt better. I wasn't bloated all the time.
Mm,
That I think the centimeter loss, I was
mm,
telling Craig this, like it's probably a lot from the swelling,
mm,
the inflammation I had in my stomach. But then my energy came back as well,
mm,
and I realized that I think after my kid, I was so depleted. Like I probably had
mm,
like postnatal depletion. I didn't even know that. And so just the amount of protein that I was not having was a
mm.
shock to me. Like I think I had to near triple the amount of protein I was actually having. Carbs, no problem, because I love my carbs. So yeah, but I saw that, and then also loving the weights. I hated running. I
Mm,
tried all these like training programs that required me to run and do a lot of cardio, and I hate that, and I
mm.
enjoy weights so much.
Oh, no.
So yeah, I can't go back now. So that was so good for me. Like to actually love a training program was a big deal for me, I
Mm,
think. And so sustainably being able to do that. But I did that for 3 months really well, and then I kind of fell off the wagon for a little while.
mm,
um, because one, you get tired, right, of doing that. And also I was like so on it, so focused. I didn't have any time for my family. Like I was always counting in my head, you know, what do I eat next? What do I do? How do I calculate my macros? And so I think it was not sustainable for me to keep it at that level. And then I kind of hit a bump in my hormonal journey as well. And then kind of thought, oh, I think this doesn't work. But it's really just an excuse because, you know, it was hard work. And I didn't want to have to do it. So I was like, I think, you know, it's not working. And so I kind of gave myself a break. And, you know, it's kind of like spiraled from there. Not too bad.
I love it.
So I'm back on again. But one of the things I was telling Lexi the other day was that I noticed the difference. So getting off the program, I realized how much it had actually changed me. Like, so my energy, the lack of energy came back, the dry skin came back, the cold feet, you know, like all the metabolism signs were coming back again, which I used to have all the time. So I'd have like I would be hot and sweaty up here, but my hands and my feet would be really cold. And so I noticed that coming back again. And so I think all these things helped me decide again, no, I need to commit to this program, and it works, you know, for me, and I want to do this. So I had to like kind of relook at that. And just at that time when I did that, the Fire Starter program came up again. So I was like, oh, perfect, you know, 1 hour, I can do this. So now I do 1 hour 3 times a week training, and it's
so good.
And I think it's the mental game as well, you know, because I couldn't finish the 2.5 hours all the time, which you just didn't care about, but that mentally wore me down, I think, after a while.
Oh, and you know what I think too? It's always about asking yourself, what is it that I can commit to? And that's why when we do programs for people, we ask them, how many hours a week can you commit? You know, what is it that you want to achieve? You really want to become really good at squat, benching, deadlifting. Obviously, you have to spend more time, but you don't have to do that. Like you said, you're doing the Fire Starter program, you're still getting good results, less time in the gym. So I think it's all about going, what is it that I want to achieve? What time can I put into this? And if it's just 3 hours a week, that's perfect. You just got to get a program that you can do.
Design,
Which is a good shift for you, I think, like having that shift going, you know, because I think too, a lot of women like try to be perfect.
Yes.
And it's like, that just stops your progress. Like, you know, like now you really realized that you're like, you know, I've just got to make imperfect progress, and I've just got to do, if I can only train 3 days a week for an hour, that's good. That's still great.
Yeah, I mean, like you guys always say that, you know, and I love that, but it was so hard for me to change that mindset. I was like, no, I'm going to do the max out the best, you know, like, you know.
It's, I think, like, and that's where so many, and there's also times when I don't finish my program, or like, you know, I'll miss a day's training, but I'm always just of the mentality that just do the best that you can, commit to what you can do, and then get out, and then just keep going, you know, because we're not professional athletes. You know, mums with, I'm not a mum, but mums with kids and business owners and stuff. So it's like, you've just got to go, what can I fit in? So I think that's a really good revelation for you.
Yeah, it has been, I think. Like, it just made this a lot more realistic for me. It's like, I'm not trying to do the perfect program that you guys have. I'm trying to make this program work for me the way I need it to work. And I think when I switched that mentality, it's made me like understand what you've been saying a lot more, and then just be okay with it. I literally talk to myself and go, that's so great. Good. Like, you've done the 1 hour, that's great.
Do you know, and you still get good results.
And that's why I'm like really excited to see. So I mean, I'm okay with slow. I'm like, I just keep telling myself I'm okay with slow progress as long as I'm progressing.
Then that's because the thing is, you can't, like, unless you're going to go and like live in the Australian Institute of Fitness and train every, you know what I mean? Like, it's like, I think you've got to go, what can I fit into my lifestyle and sustain? And that's sustainable. And it might take you an extra year, but who cares? Yeah. That's so good. And what about like, how many calories are you eating now?
I'm on 2,120. I think I dropped.
Yeah. Wow. So you're eating a decent amount of food.
Yeah.
It's good.
So I think when I first started, I went up to like 2,400.
Yeah, wow. You probably needed it though to fix all your issues.
I needed it. Badly needed it. But it was a struggle because I probably I was not anywhere close to that amount of calories for sure. And so just eating right was a big thing for me. But I learned so much from that whole, you know, how much carbs, how much protein. how much fats I need to be having.
Mm.
That has really helped me with my kids, with my family as well, not kids, kid.
Mm.
And knowing how to kind of do that.
Mm. Oh, that's so good. Yeah. So you feel obviously feeling a lot better now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm still obviously on the journey with working through that. And I had this conversation with Angelina the other day, but I was like, because I love my Asian foods, right? So it's like sesame oil and all that kind of thing. And I'm like, how do like billions of people do that? Like billions of people are having those things and they're okay. And how come I can't have it? And I was talking to her about that. And she was like, no, well, it's just for a period of time while you heal your body,
Yeah.
while you get your metabolism back,
Yeah.
and I was like, oh, because I was thinking for life, like I was thinking, forever I'll never have another like.
Well, I think it's like, like sesame. If you were your metabolism is really good and you're healthy, some small amounts
a little
of
bit, yeah.
it's totally fine. Like, I eat soy sauce. I don't eat sesame oil, but I eat soy sauce, like fish sauce, and other stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's just like you say, while you're improving things, then you can just add it back in and test and measure to see what works for you.
Yeah, no, so true. But I think for me, it was just like all or nothing. Like,
yeah, and that's what so many women are like. You got to get out of that. It's hard though, that all or nothing mentality, because it kills you every time. It kills your progress.
How do you get out of that? Just by
Well, I'm like the opposite of perfect. Like Vic actually gets mad at me sometimes. Like she's like, you need to actually think about things a bit more. Because I'm just like do. I don't care about failure. I don't care about being I'm so far from perfect. Well, because I just think like as long as it doesn't kill me, like it's okay. Because it's imperfect progress is better than zero progress. And I just feel like you learn from doing.
Yeah. No,
quickly.
it's so true.
Yeah.
But my default is, as you say with most women, is if I can't do it right, then why try at all?
Yeah. But it seems like you've come a long way though.
Yeah, I'm getting there. And I love that. I think I really took to heart what you said about the linear, not being linear in change, And for me, I'm like, I'll probably go through another few cycles of that, but it'll be quicker now for me to come back.
You nailed it. Yeah, because it gets easier, it gets quicker. Like my journey has definitely not been linear with this either. Like I was looking back at some photos from like 3 years ago. I was like nearly 75 kilos. Like I was way fatter than I am now, and I've been through stages, and then I lost body fat, and then I probably gained a bit more. And then now I'm the best that I've ever been, because I'm just, it's just taking me that long time it just takes
chipping
time.
Chipping at it.
Exactly. Yeah. So it's like, you're doing good.
I'm in with the right people, and I think I love that about your program and this wall community. It's like, I don't feel like it's a program that's just sold to us, and that's what's made all the difference. Even me coming back again after, falling off. I feel like, everyone's going to be judging me. I'm like, zero judgment, which is
everyone's
awesome.
like, fuck yeah, good work.
Good work coming back. Yeah.
We love a comeback.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah. Just fail forward. I'm like, who cares? Don't worry about it. Don't even think about it. Like, just keep moving,
Yeah. So good.
That's
I
good.
love that.
That's so good. Oh, that's so awesome. And, like when women come into the program, obviously you might have had some of these reservations when you were very first starting. They're really worried about doing it online. How am I going to learn to do the lifting? How am I going to, like, the food? How have you found doing it online?
I found that actually really great. I think I actually get more, I feel like I get more support this way because I'm constantly in communication with you guys about my training and stuff. I think the videoing thing is a little bit awkward. You have to get over that and get over yourself. And then once I did, I was like, who cares?
Oh, I know. It's easy. Yeah.
So easy. And then once I got over that, I was like, this is awesome, because I actually have more access to you guys than, say, a personal trainer for 1 hour in person, So I love that about the way that we do it. And I didn't find any real, how do you say, downside to that, really. It's just made me more, it's dependent on me actually filming myself. But that's the whole thing, right? With self-leadership, it's like, you
don't always have to do it. Like some sessions you'll be too busy, but every now and then put a video in and get your form checked, which is really awesome.
It's good to get over. I don't know if it's a women thing, but like, get over the whole, someone's going to see me doing this crap? And how do I look, doing whatever, what angle the fats are showing. I'm like, once I get actually doing it regularly and filming myself regularly, gets myself out of that headspace as well, which is so
Totally.
good.
Yeah, totally. It does. It makes you, you just don't care then after a while. You're so,
yeah,
yeah,
absolutely. I'm like, no, I'm going to just wear because, you used to care about what you wear to the gym and whatnot. You almost had to be perfect before you went to the gym. But now I'm like, I'm at the gym because I need to be at the gym, right? So
yeah.
I'm just
And you know what? Most people are just looking at themselves. They aren't looking at you. They're too busy looking at themselves. All the dudes are like
so true
and shit. The mirrors.
So true.
Or they're looking at you thinking, oh, gee, that chicks can really lift well. Like, how many comments do we get from women saying that people come up to them going, oh, you're such a great lifter? Yeah.
I had someone come up to me as well. They were like, whoa, are you bench pressing? Like,
how good is
nothing. But I think it's just the
form
see a woman doing. Yeah, and the form as well, like the way that we do it.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, yeah.
That's so good. It's really empowering. I think the lifting's really empowering. Scary to start with, can be.
Scary, yeah.
But then once you sort of get the hang of it, you feel it's really cool.
I was an absolute newbie, like going into. I didn't even know what the weights were, like what the machines were called. I had to Google what the machines were.
And look at you now.
Yeah, look at me now. I'm like,
so good that you persisted. And what about like a lot of women are really worried. They're like, oh look, I'm skeptical. Because obviously this is really different to anything else that's out there, and they're worried that they're going to fail at just another diet. What would you say to a woman who's sitting on the fence because of that?
I mean, if you don't try it, you're not going to know. For all the things that I said out there, this might be a solution to your problem. And how would you know unless you try? I think that's the thing that I told myself. I was heaps skeptical. I was like, sugar in my diet, and how's that going to help me at all? Even my husband, he was like, you're eating all this, like, you're eating sugar and what was it, fudge. I was making fudge all the time. And he was like, how is this a diet? And I'm like, just watch. And he saw the difference.
Yeah.
So I think as with anything, you just kind of need to give it a go and see. And if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. But if it does, what an awesome solution to a problem that you had,
Absolutely. Oh, awesome. Well, thanks so much for taking the time out to jump on. And if you're a woman and you're watching this, you're probably aware that we've released all our brand new programs, which actually, by the time people watch this, you guys would have already had access to it for a few weeks by now. So we've got training only, nutrition only, both. We've got 3, 6 and 12-month options with some really cool bonuses. So, check those out. And yeah, you can finally break free from all these crappy diets and get in shape, lose body fat, lose weight, and do it eating more food, and never have to go back again, which is pretty bloody exciting. Well, thank you so much. I really appreciate you getting on, and I'll speak to you in the program.
Will do. Thanks.
Bye. Bye.